and so forth. And Victor has also participated when our schedules might not have allowed it to happen, and he's been a critical component to the success as well. And I'd like to acknowledge his participation and show that regional thinking really does work. There is one other person, something else I would like to say, and I think has been a really critical component in the last few years to this, is someone that's worked tirelessly, has had all of the relationships and knows so many people that have been so important for this county and this valley. And we would be remiss if we were not to thank one person that I think has been very instrumental in making this happen, and that is Bob Ham. I think that those of you that don't know Bob's value to us, it would be wise for you to do so. He is, I like walking with him in Sacramento, because when you walk down the street in Sacramento with Bob Ham, everybody says hello to you, because everybody knows him. He's just a person that is I've been very connected with so many great efforts and so many people that it's been very valuable for us. And I'm happy to have him on our team as a valley. He's not just any one particular part of the valley, but he really works for the good of the whole valley. And that's what makes us work together well, when we work together in that way. So thank you for being here today. Thanks for that this day has finally arrived, and we're very happy to be a part of it. And thank you for being here and enjoying our wonderful occasion together.
Thanks, Gary, and thanks for the kind words. When I did the introductions, I was introducing everybody who's not on the agenda. And when I saw him come here, I penciled him in on the agenda. But this gentleman, one of the probably very most important people here, considering what we're doing, I certainly should have mentioned him. But he said he would prefer not to be on the agenda. He just writes the checks when we come to him, and that's an important thing. And that's the chairman of the California Transportation Commission, John Chalker. And we really are thrilled that you saw fit to come over, because this is an important project, and I think you did realize that throughout our efforts to get this bond money. Next is another old friend of mine from Sacramento days, who's been around, who is no stranger to self-help counties either. He invented the concept, I believe. Governor Schwarzenegger, when he needed somebody to run the highway system, brilliantly selected the next person, and that is Caltrans Director Will Kempton.
Thank you, Bob. And it is true. This guy and I do go back a long ways, and if you walk around with Bob in Sacramento, everybody does know Bob Ham, and he's done a great job for you folks down here in Imperial County. I do want to say that on behalf of Governor Schwarzenegger and Secretary of Business, Transportation, and Housing, Dale Bonner, it is my pleasure to be here today, and just to comment about about the folks here in Imperial County. You never give up. I have something that has flown up my sleeve, and I don't. Thank you. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of bugs, folks, but I think I reacted pretty well. In any event, and there's something about the heat down here in Imperial County, because in Southern California in general, because it really helps grow a great crop of elected officials. You're going to hear from some of these folks in a moment, and I just have to say that working with Senator Hollingsworth and Senator Ducheney, as well as Congressman Bob Filner, and he's represented here today by Juanita Salas, has been really a great pleasure and a great honor, because these people also never give up. They never give up on you. They're always pressing for improvements to the state's infrastructure, and it really has been a pleasure to have the opportunity to work with people who are so interested in transportation. I also want to acknowledge our Caltrans employees. These people are just great folks. They do great work for you. You'll see a lot of them around here with a little CT on the shirt pocket there. They are really making an effort to get California moving again, to improve mobility across this state, and I really appreciate all of their efforts. We've already recognized the contractor, Skanska International. They do a great job in building the facilities that we design. But, you know, I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge somebody who hasn't been mentioned today, and this is how far back I go with the Imperial County, and that is Harry Orfanos, who was a public works director for Imperial County for a number of years. And Joe remembers we used to meet down in El Centro and in the old public works building there. I guess it was the county administration building, and talk about all of these improvements. And they seemed a long way off then, and here we are celebrating them today. Also want to recognize the great work of the Imperial County Board of Supervisors, the City Council in Brawley, and Mayor Benson. You've just got some great people. We mentioned Captain Ron Jones, who was here from the CHP, our partners in helping with transportation. Now I get to the story that I want to tell you, because we've already mentioned John Shocker and the California Transportation Commission. Now John says we just write the checks, and he wants to stay in the background on this stuff. These are the people you need to thank in this celebration today, because when we were trying to divvy up the bond dollars, it's not easy to divvy up, even though it's $20 billion worth of Prop 1B bonds. In considering the needs of California, that is a very, very small pittance, and the demand on these dollars was incredible. The Commission had a very, very difficult task in trying to figure out how best to allocate these dollars. And so you all know the story. When they were considering the Corridor Mobility Improvement Account piece of the bonds, that's $4.5 billion for congestion reduction, this project was right on the cusp. It was right down there. The Commission struggled with it. They wanted to fund it, but they couldn't with all of the other demands. They did not include it in that original program. But they said to Imperial County, we will remember you when we divvy up some of the other pots of the bonds. And so along comes the Trade Corridor Improvement Fund, and they remember. And so it is through the Commission's efforts that we are seeing Phase 2 and Phase 3 of these projects move forward. They are the ones that funded this project. John has been a very active chair. He's given me a hard time on the rail service between San Diego and Los Angeles, and as a result, you're going to see improvements in that corridor. And so that's the kind of role that the commissioners play all across the state. Well, we all know what the Brawley bypass will do. It moves goods efficiently. It's very, very important. But the most important thing is it's going to take traffic off of your main street, and that's what has been the real problem in this area for a long time. We're also going to hear about Senate Concurrent Resolution number 70 from Senator Ducheney, Victor VC Expressway and the designation of such. What you may not know is that Senator Hollingsworth's father was on the staff of John VC, and I'm told that's the correct way to pronounce it. So that was an interesting tidbit, and Mr. Hollingsworth is here in the crowd. Very good. No, Senator's here, but his dad's here. Yeah, nice to see you, sir. Well, I also want to close my comments with taking up on where the chairman ended on proposition or Measure D, your local measure. We don't advocate for these measures of the state. I can just tell you how important they are. Bob Lamb already mentioned the fact that I started or spent a good deal of my career in self-help counties. I ran the first sales tax program in the state. You have made a big impact on your local transportation needs by having Measure D. And so I would urge all of your voters to take a very careful look at the extension that's being proposed in November, because it's $1 billion over 40 years. That's a lot of money coming into here. You get flexibility, you get the ability to move projects forward, and you get the ability to leverage other funding. And that is so key. So I would urge the voters to take a very careful look at that measure, because that's important to the future of Imperial County. We're committed to work closely with IBAG and the county. I wanted to just say congratulations to everyone involved in bringing needed infrastructure to this region, and thank you very much for inviting me today.
Thank you, Will. And again, it's just so wonderful to have people come all the way from Sacramento to attend what is a very, very important regional project for us. And I think it's a testament that it's important as a statewide project that Will is here. Now getting local, I'd like to have some remarks from, there is Mayor John Benson of the City of Brawley.
This Brawley bypass project is kind of reminds me of that really funny ad they